hang mine on the wall. I'm gonna wear it.
Hey, everybody.
Hey.
It's good to see the familiar faces. It's good to see or hear the... it's good to know that there's people listening and viewing. I can't see anybody yet, but I'll see some people pop in the chats. It's like Romper
It'll
Room,
happen.
you know?
Yeah.
I look through this magical glass and I see you and you and you. Thank you. Thank you for taking the time to tune in to Bad Publicity. And let us talk now amongst ourselves in the community about, hey Alec, about Terminal Directive green cards. The green cards are they the hot of hot right now after that whole convoluted meta busting deck that just shown its face?
Possibly.
Yeah. It's open. Yeah, it's opened up what some of the potential of some of these cards are.
Yeah.
Especially the ID. We'll get to.
Well, how about if I were to tell you we'll get to it right now, because I really got nothing else for an intro.
Oh man.
Unless you want to say something. I mean.
No.
No.
I'm ready to get to this. Let's do it. Let's dive right in.
Hollis, you got anybody to apologize to?
Only every Netrunner fan and everyone I've ever dated. So
oh man.
I'm good.
Okay.
Good.
Deep. Cool.
Yikes.
Did you Doug Mitchell for your league game for the Netrunner?
We'll talk about that later. We'll talk about that later.
All right.
Yeah. All right.
Fellas, Shaper cards.
All right. So we'll start this off with the ID. You ready?
Yeah.
All right. I'll be the reader.
You do.
All right. So we have BIOS. Is that Ayla? Rahim? I'm probably gonna butcher that name. I apologize. Simulant Specialist. So she is a natural, link 0, 45 deck sides, influence 15. Before drawing your starting hand, look at the top 6 cards of your stack. Set 4 of them face down as in VRAM. Shuffle the rest into your stack. And then as a click, you can add 1 card from NVRAM to your grip.
So, can we? Can I take a moment to drop some knowledge on you right now?
Oh, I love knowledge dropping.
So NVRAM is actually, for you people that want the thematic side of things, called non-volatile RAM. Non-volatile random access memory.
Nice.
Right, Hollis?
The more you know.
Yeah. I may have something to add, but continue.
Yeah. Go. Well, wait. Go. Yeah. What are you going to add?
So.
Well, I'm going to Google this actually.
Oh God.
But
clarification.
You know what? Never mind. We'll talk about it later.
Google for a click.
Google for a click. So other things to keep in mind, some special things to note about this ability is you do this, of course, before you draw your opening hand and before you mulligan. So it's been clarified that once you see the cards you're going to stick in your NVRAM, you could then draw your regular hand, and if you don't like it, you can mulligan and try it again. Since you already know kind of what you've tucked underneath, so you can have a better idea of the type of cards you're digging for. So just pretty cool on a timing perspective.
Yeah.
So it's been, I guess, stated that this is the comparison, I guess, to the Andromeda of Shapers, which probably isn't unfair. I mean, it gives you a larger pool of cards at the start, and so she seems going to be phenomenal and is great for doing combo-rific decks that require a few moving parts to get things out, to get rolling. Because she can kind of stack and set that stuff up early, or at least go ahead and get some of your key pieces, or have an idea what parts of your engine you already have while you try to dig for the rest of the stuff in the deck. Pretty neat.
Yeah, I dig it.
Deep dig it?
I deep dig it. dig dig them. Like, what was it, Honey Schmacks or something?
That's it.
So many people might not understand that. That was an old cereal. You know what I like about this is that I feel like they could have gone so many ways with this kind of stuff. Like, you could have installed it, but then you're risking, like a peddler, almost like a reverse peddler, right?
Like,
where if you put events on it, they're kind of no good. So it would have been the same thing. But I like the fact that you're getting, look at 6 cards, and you can set 4 of them aside. The rest you're shuffling. You're doing it all.
Yeah.
I don't know about the speed thing, right? Like, you're just adding the card into your grip, so it's still going to cost you a play. So it's almost like a double. But I mean, I guess that's the price you pay.
Yeah, I mean, it's better than just top decking. If you just click for draw a card, at least this you can click and then you
draw the card you need.
Draw the card you need, draw the card you want, and you're good to go. Uh-oh, we got a reader.
What?
Oh, Hollis? No. Hollis is still trying to figure out what's going on here. You don't even.
Yeah, what did you do, Hollis?
Oh, so it's something else in tech that's been a new thing. It doesn't matter. In short, like adding to Ayla, I think I agree. Like, I think that she very well fits like that sort of like Andromeda mimic, if you will, in Shaper. The unique benefit being that let me just say this. This is what I don't like about Ayla. I kind of wish that you could just choose the cards outright, because that adds like a huge benefit where you could say, okay, the silver bullets that exist in Netrunner, so the sacrificial constructs, the plastic carapaces, things like that, those are the cards that you want to start the game off with, that you lay face down, and you basically take them out of your deck so that they're not a part of the deck you would normally draw from with your Diesel, your normal click to draw and quality time, Beth Kill Rang Chang, all that stuff. And there's the cards you pull as necessary. Like, that gives her a pretty strong benefit. The negative I have with Ayla is that, like, you end up in these weird scenarios where, sure, you can click to draw, like, other cards that are good if they're in there, but sometimes you don't want those cards to be in there. Shaper has this amazing utility to be able to search out any card they want and then use a card like Clone Chip to pull that card out of the discard pile, or out of the heap to install. And so making a card that's now separate, that's not in the discard pile and not in the deck where they have tutors, like the extra click where those cards that the cards that go grab those cards are more or less tutors, makes it a little bit, in a weird way, like less flexible, because there's less cards to interact with that. And so you can end up in a scenario where that's actually a negative thing, where like your breaker that you need, the board state is such that you need to be able to draw game money and make the run at the same turn, but because this card is now in NVRAM, you now have to, number one, click to draw this card and then do the other things and install the card, whereas if it was in your discard pile or your deck, this would not be an issue. You would basically get to utilize your click compression, or whatever. You get to utilize the tutors that you have, the recursion that you have, to be able to go grab the cards that are necessary. So it's not all positive. Like, there is a negative aspect here to using the cards in NVRAM. The biggest, but I mean, the benefit is obvious. Like, if you need the card and you know it's there, instead of clicking to maybe draw it based on RNG with the available card draw, you just get it. And that's the other benefit, right? So,
yeah,
it's real hard for Shaper to get more clicks.
Yeah, no doubt. As a side benefit, John jumped in the live YouTube chats here. So if you guys have questions, he is actually pilots this ID very, very well for those people who are keeping up on the tournament scene, pulling off a big win with it. Fresh out the gate. So if you guys have questions, there's your man to talk to live right now. Also we'll respond, but he's got the hardware to back up what he's saying. So
and I guess a little bit just to kind of throw in what Hollis mentioned, this sounds on some of the things you would like to see on the ID. I think you have to be a little careful for the ID its ability to not build like a sideboard. because I think, yeah, it's cool. It's a way to kind of utilize the silver bullets, but then in a sense, it could then make the ID like the safe play to take, because then you could always take those silver bullets and not have to actually make the consideration in cuts and regular deck building.
I think she's gonna have some good legs to run on. I love the fact that these cards are protected right now. They set aside, and you don't need to worry about them being damaged out, right? Like when it's your turn and you're ready to go, you grab what you need and then you immediately install it. It's not like you're playing Jinteki or a Wayland deck where you are holding a card in your hand, maybe you don't need it and it's going to get damaged or discarded, and then you have to burn some of your recursion to get it up and in. I like it. I like what this offers. Obviously, Corey, off the top, you showed the power that, or compared her to Andromeda with those starts, and with things that Hollis was saying about moving some of those, maybe later game cards out of your deck and out of the way, knowing where they are in case you need them to call upon at certain times. This is just a phenomenal ID, and I really think that going forward, this is an ID that people can get behind, and it's not something we've seen out of Shaper. I mean, to have that kind of power start, and
yeah, it's like a different style of almost like Shaper Tutor. Instead of doing like the instant speed, like use another program to search, she just kind of can tuck stuff away just to be there if she needs it.
Right.
It's neat. It's a cool idea.
Yeah, I hope that we see her kind of take off and run, because I think she's gonna do something, like I said, that Shaper hasn't been able to do, and that's quicker and more calculated setups. Shaper has always been the one that wants to build the rig, and this is going to help you build that very, very well. So that being said, where do you guys like her?
I put her in good.
Yeah, better than Steve Cambridge.
Yeah,
out of the two, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, for sure.
All right,
sure.
For sure. All right, we ready?
Yeah, carefully plan this next one. Bad.
Oh, it's funny you should say that, man, because it's called careful planning.
Bad segue. You know what? You know what I'm going for? Next year I'm going for the what are they? The Netrunner Video Awards. I want best segue into a card.
Yeah. Best segue.
Yeah.
All right. So careful planning.
Best Star Wipe transition.
This is an event. It's a priority event. Costs 3, influence 4. 4 influence.
4 influence.
And since it's priority, play only as your first click. Choose a card in or protecting a remote server. That card cannot be rezzed this turn.
Huh. Okay.
Yep. So if you're super scared and you're not a daring runner and you like to get some security, it might be a good option for you. But you could probably play anything else. I think this is a really cool card, possibly for newer players.
For 4 influence, you want new people to burn 4 influence on?
They're gonna stay like main faction most of the time anyway.
All right.
If they're playing Shaper, I mean, it's a cool card. Like if you're just really unsure about something, you can turn it off. The inside of a server is actually a pretty neat ability. But then again, you have cards like Interdiction, or if you're spinning Influence, Rumor Mill, that can help turn and shut down a lot of those things that are going to give you problems anyway. And they're a lot more universal, and they don't have to be your first click.
You know where I like this? I like this in Kit.
Yeah, that's not bad.
I like it when people try and, like, because most of the time people are going to try and burn your ability by making the first piece a code gate anyway, so you can, you know, be able to tell them not to res that.
I feel like if you found a way to set something, I mean, it's an event, so yeah. I mean, I could also see if you find ways to like get servers down to just one piece of ice, and you can trigger this and then do something that you can like multi-run off of. That, yeah. I mean, there's some things you could do with this card.
Yeah, but the problem is that this is an early game card, though, right?
Right. I mean, it's pretty pricey at 3. But then again, you know, what you could pay having to get the breaker or break whatever it is that's in that server, or if you're just worried about something getting rezzed in that server.
Well, so I think my biggest issue is that, like, number one, does this card at a cost of 3, does this card actually need the priority keyword? Like, does it need that distinction? Like, if I played this on click 3, what difference does it make if I played on click 3 or click 2 or click 1?
It stops the people that just want to man up and play at click 4.
Yeah, well, I think it's also getting you to condense the windows for the corp to res stuff. It's kind of like making the runner want to trigger it early.
But it also has another issue. Like, it says, you know, choose a card in the protected remote server. That card cannot be res this turn. Okay, so what if the card that's protected is a card that is like this in Never Advance, but has like the Caprice baddie Ash available? Like, if it's a 3/2, you don't know which card is the protection card.
It's the same idea, I guess, if you drive by something inside of a server, right? You're just kind of guessing, but you're spending 2 clicks. But then again, you're getting rid of it if it's something that's worthwhile. This one, you're still not really finding out what it is. You're just knowing that they're not going to res it that turn.
Well, it's also, but the biggest difference also is that drive-by is though it's 2 clicks, costs 0.
Correct. Oh,
which, like,
trust me, in the comparison, I would much rather play drive-by, but that's a different style card, though.
Because drive-by at least has, you know, like, expose one card, so it's like, okay, is that an agenda? Well, good. I'm happy that I know now. That's the agenda card. But this is, okay, you have 2 unadvanced cards in a remote. Yeah, you can't res that protection card. I run, and we're like, yeah, but that wasn't a protection card though, so
so I'm still gonna res it.
You have no new info. There's no new info you gained. You just had to guess. All right, this card, if it's a protection card, you don't get to res it. That seems way worse.
Yeah, but I think you're more likely to see this on ice, though, right? If you're worried about something coming down, you're gonna do it on the outside of a server, especially if there's something that's really easy for you to get past, and then the corp's still trying to like keep you out. And then you're just like, no, I'm gonna stop this. You're not resing this turn. I'm still gonna get some runs in and try to dig a little bit further. So that's, in that respect, that's where some of the power of the card is.
Yeah. And the only reason why I feel like the priority like concept is a bit ridiculous is because even knowing this card exists, I can say that like my play on the corp side adjusts so much to where I'm like someone mentioned like,
you know, it's because Hollis ain't never scared. Scared.
But like someone mentioned, like, okay, maybe it's priority so that you can't just draw into it, maybe. But the problem here is that like I've never on like the corp side been like, it's a shaper deck, and they go, click when I draw, gotta risk Caprice now. Like that's it. Like they got me. Like that has never happened. Like
he got me.
like oh no, he got me. Like that's never happened. So even if this card exists, I don't think the ability is necessarily even that good to where that's the issue you face.
Do they think it would get out of control though? Like people like, is it almost an inside job, but not quite? You know what I mean?
Well,
like,
it's for the turn.
Yeah, like that's what I'm like. Since you can kind of delay something like the full turn, right? Like if you, I think the ideal situation is like, you know, Shaper is all the R&D access. So, you know, you mess something up on the R&D, and then you've got 3 turns to attack, right? Yeah. So, I mean, maybe 2 of them, like, you're able to stretch out an indexing, right? Yeah. Actually index, then not have to worry about even dealing with that, peace or protection stuff that turn, and you're able to go in and get what you have indexed, and hopefully it's either a maker's eye or a R&D interface kind of situation.
Yeah. And you're seeing a lot of corp decks too that are sometimes just guarding servers with one piece of ice, or they'll have one area with just one ice, and so in spots like HQ, being able to turn it off, then they get a bunch of runs into it can be pretty beneficial. With it being a priority, you can't same old thing that, correct? Because priorities can't be triggered off of that.
Yeah, Wesley's saying you can false echo it, right?
You can false echo, but it's not as good as false echo. Damn it. Yeah. Anyway, but yeah,
it's not as good as false echo, bookmark, Faust, interdiction, keyhole or whatever.
Yeah. Anyway, so I don't think this is a bad card. I just don't think. I think you want to do a deck that's built around utilizing it and taking advantage of its effect, and you really want to try to turn off ice. I guess.
So, are you trying to tell me then, Corey, that with careful planning, this could be a good card?
Yes.
Do you have to build? You have to build around this stuff.
You're just not letting this go, man. It's good. You know what? I commend it.
DDoS.
At this point.
Is that what you were thinking of, DDoS?
Oh, that is DDoS.
How can you forget DDoS?
It was last regionals, man. Sorry.
Yeah. So hey, where are you drawing this? Where are you throwing this up at?
I don't even know. Probably.
Why are you here?
Yeah.
I mean, is it I think this card might be bad.
I don't think it's bad. I think it's average to below average. I think it fits. It's very specific decks that want to play it, if they want to play it. But I mean, I think it can be impactful if it gets played on you. That's what I think would be a bad card, if someone plays it and it doesn't do anything, or you're just whatever, big deal. But I think there could be moments in the game state where someone hits you with a careful planning, and they could get work done with it.
Average.
I'm going below. I'm going below.
Of course.
Right. I got you to go up from that. So
you did.
I'll take that.
Where are you going, Corey?
I'm going average.
Oh, that's 2 against 1. That's still. And just to make it nice, we'll put it at the bottom of it.
There you go, Hollis.
What happens here?
And it gets that rating because this artwork is, I don't know what's going on here. They're growing plants or something. That's came out of Avatar.
You gotta carry. Hey,
right.
You too, with careful planning, can grow your plants.
Yeah. All right, here we go. We're gonna keep this.
Just don't get caught.
Yeah, deep data mining. Event run costs 3, influence 4. They love 4 influence on these cards. Make a run on R&D. If successful, access 1 additional card for each unused MU. Forgotten by a couple people I played against, up to 4. So yeah, it's another multi-access card. 4. Yeah, some people have not paid attention to the last part of that sentence, and they've been trying to grab a crap ton of my R&D.
What do you mean?
Yeah. There's a limit on how many cards you can access, no matter how much free MU you have.
And it's 5, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's 1 additional card, so...
I mean, it says it right there on the page on the FAQ, right?
Yeah, it's 5 total.
Yeah. That's the limit. No more, no less.
Yeah, but you can do these crazy MU decks all you want. It's fine. It's the limit. But it's a cool card.
So
I've played against...
You're trying to tell me not to put it in my Atom.
I don't... I mean, if you want to pay for influence, man, you do it. You live the dream.
Hey.
I mean, I've seen some talk about it being a one-of in item decks.
Yeah. I mean, right now, if you put this in your Atom deck, it'll get you top 80 at Gen Con.
Yeah,
or wait, have they sold 81 tickets for it?
Wow.
Yeah.
You were too real. Too real.
Sorry, man. I probably shouldn't go.
Anyway, I've played against that Haley deck that's been playing with the deep data mine Haley that's like draws like every card in the world and then builds up, and then this keeps like deep data mining your R&D out. It's pretty great. It's a good card. So if you haven't been deep data mine, Doug, get ready. Hollis is muted. See, they got him.
They got him.
Yeah.
Hollis, come back, man.
I was saying it sounds dirty every time you say it. Like
I
every
know.
time you say it,
I want
it
somebody
gets dirtier.
I want
every
someone to
time.
slip up. I want someone to slip up and really say deep data mining. DDM. DDM that R&D. What? I don't know. You know, I think that. Do you guys think this is? You know, is this hard to pull off in faction? Being Shaper is the one that wants to set it up, and then they kind of went and tagged a lot of influence on it. So.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's certain Shapers who can do really well with it, but not every Shaper. I mean, I've been playing a lot of Smoke, so this is obviously not a great card in Smoke. She's filling her me up really fast.
Part of the problem, man.
It's such a degenerate deck.
Not part of the solution.
Anyway, God, look at me installing breakers, breaking ice, making runs, interacting with the corp. What an asshole.
What?
Anyway, God. Anyway, I should just sit on one side of the board and just hit that mill button. That's so fun. But sorry, sidetrack. But yeah, but there are some Shapers. I mean, there's tons of stuff that gives MU and Shaper. Like pretty much every console, they just have memory chips, processors. You want MU, you get it. You can get programs that don't take up MU to then host programs so they don't take up MU.
Leprechaun, eh?
Yeah, that's right, man. Inception, that shit.
Nah, you gotta live in the now. I was trying to set you up for some Mad Sweeney reference.
Oh,
come on, where's all my American Gods fans?
I'm a fan.
Yay! Man, they're really flushing this character out, milking it, man. I'll tell you, he was not like this in the book. So what are we looking at, man? Are we looking at average, above average? I mean, I think the influence level hurts this card from a ratings perspective.
Yeah, but I mean, you're not really MU building that heavy in other factions, are you? Like, Criminal's not really like, let me load up on my MU. I mean, they can, I guess, but that's not their focus. Well, I feel like Shaper just does it.
I'll tell you, Vincent in chat, this guy's the reason to tune in himself. These one-liners that he comes out with, just bang on. Does that mean you're swaying? You're swaying up?
Yeah, I'm swinging up.
Above?
I would put it in good.
Holy Toledo! Man, did you just swing that up?
Yeah.
Hollis, where are you at?
You put this in good?
Yeah.
To me, this is average. Like, to me, this is actually average. And I think the reason is because, like, the for this card to be good, the entire deck build has to make sure that you have the MU available. Yeah, I know there's Akamatsu Mem chips, but it's not just Akamatsu. Like, if you look at the way, even if you play Kate as an example, where you get the discount on all hardware.
What about if you play Chaos Theory?
Sure, but like, so even if you play Chaos Theory, right? You still either have to get more MU, play the breakers, or maybe play.
Give me a reason to play Chaos Theory right now. Like, as long as Kate's still in the game, people aren't going to gravitate towards Chaos Theory.
The reason to play Chaos Theory is because they gave it a core. They gave it a core set symbol at the last Gen Con, so we're pretty sure it's going to be Core 2.0 because of.
Hollis, I will forever set it up, and you forever knock it down, my friend.
Thanks. You're welcome. But basically, I feel like even if you play Chaos Theory, there's a number of cards that have to be played in your deck. At least I would say 4 cards, right? A combination of Akamatsu and or Leprechaun and or Omni Drive and or Cyberdex, or Cybersoft Suite, whatever. Like a number of cards that generate available MU so that you have the max MU available to get the most out of this card. And that requires deck slots. And that means that those are not deck slots that prevent tags or give you additional economy or like rescue a program or are a program. They're slots that are just to boost how good deep data mining is. Or could be, potentially. And then on top of that, it still costs 3. It's not a cheap card. It's still an event that costs 3. Escher's 5 influence costs 3. Let that sink in. Let it marinate. I'll wait.
I'll wait.
I'm done. I'm done with that marinate.
Okay, Thanks. So what do you want to do? Do you want to split hairs and call it above average?
I mean, if you want, I'm cool with that.
Corey's not happy about it. He's like, no, this card deserves to be good. I'm okay with above average. I'll bend.
Okay.
I got you, buddy.
But don't break.
Yeah.
Well, no, I'm good.
Okay.
All right, cool. Well, I guess if next we'll go to a card that might give you MU. Oh, weird. LDS Memory Diamond. That's so strange.
Lucas and Damon back at it again, putting their collective minds. LLDS.
Man. Strange. This isn't a Destiny card. Anyway, hardware mod, install 4, influence 1. +1 MU, +1 link, and your maximum hand size is increased by 1.
Man, it's pretty good, decent stats for the 1 influence and the 4 costs. And
I mean, one influence is pretty solid. You can spread that love around. But I mean, that's pretty good. You get a +1 across the board. 1 MU, 1 link, one extra card size.
At this point, they have fleshed out every card of this type. Like let's cover it, okay? So if
sit back and watch the show. Where's my popcorn here? Go.
Yeah.
To me, this is just funny. Do you want public sympathy to increase your hand size by 2? That's a neutral, cost 2. Do you want the Cybersoft something? I don't even know whatever the card is. 4 costs for 2 MU. You got it. Do you want borrowed satellite? 1 link, maximum hand size is increased by 1. Like you got it. And then this card's like upping the ante. It's like, hey, it's more resilient because it's not a resource, but it gives you the MU, the link, and the +1 hand size.
So would you have been more satisfied if it was like it was like 2 memory and then your maximum hand size is like lowered by 2?
No. Like what sucks is that like I don't want to say what sucks, but like they already have a card they already have a hardware that costs 4 that gives you a +2 to MU. And they already have a card that costs 3, a resource, borrowed satellite, that gives you +1 link, +1 to your max hand size. So if we're going to be totally honest, this is basically like a more resilient version of borrowed satellite with an Akamatsu just stamped right on top of it. Like they basically said, let's add Akamatsu to a borrowed satellite and make it 1 card. Got it.
Which is what everyone's been doing. When they look at borrowed satellite, they're like, man, needs more Akamatsu.
Needs more cowbell. Like that's what everyone's been thinking about.
It's the only thing holding this card back. It's lacking a little Akamatsu.
Jesus.
Average. There we go. We ready? We can keep going.
But
maybe below average.
But is it? Because I'm almost want to say below average. Because I mean, there's better shaper consoles, right? Because like Hall has said, your choices aren't limited in increasing your hand size. I mean, if you really want to increase your hand size in say Criminal, if this is going toe to toe with Logos, I probably would rather have Logos because at least Logos.
But it's not a console; it's just a mod, so you can stack these.
Yeah, but
the other obvious card that I missed, by the way, is Dyson Mem Chip, which is obviously is +1 MU, +1 link, and it costs 3 and is neutral. So the question you have to ask yourself, and this is like why am I
going to put multiple of these in?
Right. Like, are you going to play this hardware? Like, so if you're Kate, right? You could pay either 3 for 1 MU, max hand size +1, +1 link. Or 2 for Dyson, and it's 1 MU, 1 link. And I can only imagine that if you care that much about adding the extra link, it's because you have a card in your deck that is going to benefit from that. You're going to have either a combination of, or either or, Underworld Contacts and, oh my god, the 8-cost console. What is that? Security Nexus, right? Like you need that link for the Security Nexus. And I don't think, given the Security Nexus costs 8, that you want to hurt any more of your tempo by paying more than you have to for the extra link. Because we all know the extra hand size is so, it's almost like, it's such a small benefit comparatively. Like, basically, if my options are Dyson or this, I'm probably 9 times out of 10 going to pick Dyson. Because it gives me the MU. So I can play fancy cards, right? Like, I can play the Keyhole, or play the extra, or have the extra MU so I can have 2 breakers, plus the Data Sucker, and my self-modifying code, because it gives me 5 MU total.
Thematically, the modification should modify something. It should go over top of a card, and then add stuff to it. This card just doesn't do anything for me.
Yeah, like I can't imagine.
And the only reason I was talking about what's it called? Like, just comparing it to Logos, Corey, it wasn't for the fact that it was a console to a mod, but it was like options out of faction.
Yeah.
Right, stuff that's doing like one card that adds hand size and gives you a memory boost, for the exact same cost, and then gives you something better. So I was just more talking about it from a deck slot perspective. If that's what you need, then I know Logos is a console slot compared to a mod, but I mean, there's better options than burning the influence.
So, where's this fall in the ratings?
Hollis, unmute.
Sorry. I know people might disagree, but I would actually think, based on the existing card pool and what's available for every single facet of what this card provides, I actually think this card is bad. I think that 9 times out of 10, you would either specialize in the one thing you need, whether that's link, MU, or hand size.
For a cheaper price?
Or you would take one of the two at a cheaper price, which would be in Dyson. And the 2 things that Dyson provides are, out of the options that are available, the most important things, the MU and the link. The hand size, to me, is the least important thing. So, yeah, I think this card's actually bad. I would probably never pick this compared to Borrowed Satellite, and even that's bad. The Cybersoft Mem Chip or whatever.
I never see a world where if you had this and Borrowed Satellite,
yeah, no,
you're not picking Borrowed Satellite.
Well, I mean, yeah, because Dyson is a lot more flexible, being a neutral, right? Lower. I mean, so basically, you're saying for the one extra cost, you're putting a card in faction, and
you're getting the hand size.
You're getting a hand size increase.
Yep.
I think it's below average. I don't think it's bad.
I thought it was below. That's where I kind of...
I hate all the cards. They're all bad.
How about this next one, Hollis?
Oh boy. Okay, so we have Dewbacks. It is a hardware console. Installation cost of 5. Influence 3. It provides 1 MU, and it says, when your turn begins, draw 1 card. Limit 1 console per player. So a 5-cost console that says it gives you +1 MU, and when your turn begins, you draw a card. No ifs, ands, or buts. Those cards got guts. Like, you're going to draw at the start of your turn. What do you guys think?
Yeah, it's pretty good. I mean, it's built-in card draw.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little bit for your upfront price, but you're still getting the MU, and you're getting automatic card draw every turn. So think of the click savings.
Think of the kids.
Yeah. I mean, card draw is good in a card game.
I mean,
just throwing that out there.
I don't know. I mean, I'll tell you that I wasn't a fan of Professional Contacts because I thought the 5 cost.
You're spending a click for that.
Yes.
You're getting money.
Yes.
You're spending a click. This is just the beginning of the turn. You get a free card.
But that's what I'm saying. Like even Proco, after so many turns, if you got it out, if you got it out in time, it would recover its cost.
Mm-hmm.
This one's going to take a little longer to pay for itself.
Yeah, it'd be cool if there was like other support with card draw that would like really synergize and stack with this. But we'll see what comes out.
You're a weird guy. I think it's okay. I think if you can cheat it out, it's going to get more value. So I think it's in the right faction to be able to do that kind of things.
Yeah. I mean, if you modded this, it'd be great, right?
Right. But I mean, if you we are not past a phase of the game that we're not done with horizontal yet. Right? If you've seen some of these weird Moonanite decks and all this other bullcrap, blah, 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 right? Can we agree?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm pretty much getting better value out of an Astrolabe still.
Yeah, I mean, it's a much cheaper upfront cost.
Yeah.
Astrolabe is dependent on your opponent, but I mean, a lot of the decks are still going horizontal. They're still installing stuff, so you're still able to get the card draw off of it.
So that's why I feel at this time, if I look at this card, I feel I'm safer to go Astrolabe. And I mean, plus I'm drawing off turn, which is I think gaining something off turn is great.
Yeah.
Well, if your opponent wants to sweep you, them being able to give you cards is pretty cool.
Oh, are people still playing that?
So
I don't know if that card fits into CI7.
It might be like a bad call, but I think that where this card might struggle the most is exactly the card you mentioned, Jameson. It's because of Astrolabe, or Lab, sorry. So Astrolabe basically, it costs 1, and whether or not you draw that card for free is directly dependent on your opponent. So you, as a runner, don't really get a lot of control, but in a unique way, as the runner, you impose this lack of control on the corp. Like, so if the corp is playing a horizontal deck, if they're playing Moonanites, if they're playing, well, obviously the deck isn't as popular at all anymore, like CTM, but if they're playing any deck that goes horizontal, or at least a deck that, they can play assets naked, you trash, they play more assets, you're always going to get that card draw. And in a weird way, like, you don't have to wait till your turn, you get it almost immediately, and you also get +1 immune in that process. At worst, Astrolabe is as good as Akamatsu, which 1 extra MU in a runner deck is usually pretty good, right? When we look at available runner suites.
Yeah.
But then
as it was determined last time, if you can look at something and say, man, it needs more Akamatsu.
But like 1 extra MU, in Netrunner on the runner side does have a benefit, right? Like, because it means you can have your 3 breakers and then the data sucker or cloak, and a bit more flexibility where you can have the SMC when you have all 3 breakers, stuff like that. Like the niche program that isn't always useful, you can go tutor in that weird way. And so, like, the issue I kind of have with Dewbacks is that it's cost 5, and while drawing a card at the start of your turn is very good, Astrolabe gives you the ability to, especially based on the current meta, knowing the current meta also, Astrolabe lets you sort of get that same level of draw but it only costs you 1. So Dewbacks is asking a lot for you in the current meta when it's saying, hey, you draw the extra card like you may if you had Astrolabe. However, you only get 1 MU extra. And I'm not even saying even an extra MU would necessarily be better. Here's what in fact, let me go on the record. This is what should have freaking happened.
Oh.
The card we just saw, LDS Memory Diamond, should probably be the text on Dewbacks. If Dewbacks had +1 MU, +1 link, +1 extra hand size, and when your turn begins, draw 1 card, I guarantee you'd be like, that's a pretty damn good console. Like, that's a lot of, like, benefits for 5 credits for a console that is an Astrolabe that costs 1. But because it's draw 1 card at the start of the turn when your turn begins, and then, like, 1 MU, you're like, 1 MU for 5? That doesn't seem nearly as good as I would like for a 5-cost console. I pay 6 credits for Maul, and Maul's base ability is amazing, and I still get 2 MU for 6. Just saying. Desperado, amazing ability, and it only costs 3.
I hear you,
and it
man.
gives it 1 MU.
That's where I'm at, too. I hear you.
Yeah.
Talk for us.
So I'm saying, like, if you want Dewbacks to be played, like, make it ridiculous. Astrolabe is already the go-to. Like, Desperado is very, very good. You're going to be hard-pressed to find a criminal that's going to play a console that's not Desperado. Okay, we know that. But they still, regardless, they still print other, even if they're only okay, criminal consoles.
They do.
Okay. Well, I mean, they're okay. They're not. Some of them are okay, right? Like, they're not good, right? But give Astrolabe a run for its money. If you're gonna make me pay 5 for a console, which is a big tempo hit, like, okay, then make it sweet. Make it +1 MU, increase my hand size by 1. Give me the the extra link, and give me this.
You are creeping into 6-cost console territory, my friend.
Yeah, I mean, well, like,
you are trying to,
is good.
You were trying to get a 4th free topping on your 3-topping pizza.
Well, I mean, the thing is, though, if we're going to be real, at Domino's, hot sauce is a topping, which makes no sense. But that's a whole other conversation. Like, all I'm saying is that, like, I feel like if you really want to sell this card, you could have made it sweeter, and that would have justified this card even more.
Yeah.
When your turn begins, draw 1 card is good, but it is in the faction that has some of the best card draw and the most IDs in the game with the smallest deck size, right? Because Smoke is 40. I think so, right? Smoke is 40 and CT is 40. So all the other IDs only have what? Well, no, that's not true. Criminal has Silhouette, and what's the other one that has 40 deck size? Or is that the only one?
No, it's Con.
Con. So they both have a 40 deck size. Except Criminal gets the most one of the most god tier like consoles. Make Dewbacks a sweet ability. Like, draw 1 card when your turn begins is good. Give me an extra MU. Or give me a link. Even +1 link makes his cards better. I guess what I don't get is the fear of making this card too good when Astrolabe is very good and Desperado very good.
You may remember the end of last cycle. They released this console.
Sure.
So they were just like, man, we need to keep putting abilities on it. People aren't going to think this is worth 4, 5. Let's just keep throwing stuff on it. We gotta put a negative on there that's not really a negative.
Oh yes, Cipher. Sorry.
So
maybe it was an overcorrection.
Yo,
I'm really worried about adding stuff.
Let's just say that this. I'll say this is below average for me right now.
Okay.
I would give it average.
I can be talked up, but it's average, below average.
I'm gonna be weird. Well,
oh
weird.
My God, if you're gonna say this is amazing.
I think that the nature of stealth decks and in general how good Astrolabe is, I think you can find a better reason to include Astrolabe and Mirror. Is it Mirror? Yeah, Mirror in your deck before this card. Because the decks that already have a 40 card deck size probably include Diesel, maybe Quality Time because they're in faction. So it's either like easy draw or burst draw. And you automatically like get to draw the majority of your deck. So drawing a card every turn at this cost, not worth, I don't think. And then the decks that aren't that can just have Astrolabe in the current meta and they don't need it. So I feel like either Mirror is better or Astrolabe is better most of the time in those like respective decks. So this card to me becomes bad.
Whoa! Look at this guy.
Which is like really weird to say. Like I know
wasn't
it's
weird
really,
at all from you.
No. I'm gonna upgrade it. I'm sorry. It's below average. Sorry, not bad. It's below average for sure. I think it's below.
So it's your 2 below averages, my average.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Corey.
You guys
I can't wait for a tournament to happen. I can't wait for a tournament to happen and someone like played this in their deck and they're like, yeah, it was a pretty good console, but I kind of wish I had ran Astrolabe. Can't wait for that to happen.
Okay, let's go to the next here.
Adept. Program Icebreaker, Fractor Killer, Install 5, Mem 2, Strength 2, Influence 3. Adept has +1 Strength for each unused MU. Man, if only there were cards that added MU. For 2 credits, break Sentry or Barrier subroutine. So if you wanted another card that does this thing, you got it. It's all yours.
I can't fit them all in my Atom deck, I'll tell you that.
Yeah. Cool.
Tell me what that flavor text says, Hollis, while I think about it for a second.
I'm trying. Does someone know what the flavor text in chat? Does someone know what this flavor text actually says?
I wish Erickson was here. He would know. Because I think he actually wrote this whole complaint because he liked the other one because it was Latin. He's like a Latin major or something like that. But then he said apparently the version they use for this one it's either worded really weird or not entirely correct or something different. I don't know. He was able to nitpick it apart and he was really disappointed. And that's all I can tell you.
I don't know. Someone in chat might know because they're geniuses in chat. I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway, hey Hollis, what are your thoughts on this fantastic card?
Man, I don't know, bro. Like,
I mean, what you have to do is, of course, you have to build a deck around this. You have to have it where this is the gimmick. I'm going to gain a bunch of MU, and I'm going to try to get these breakers that can break 2 different things.
Well, it's in the faction that can do that, though, and it's in the faction that has problems with Sentry and Barrier.
Yeah.
Sure. Do they have problems with barriers? Sentries? That's so strange.
Well, okay,
anyway,
so they're supposed to. They're supposed to.
Yeah, I gotcha. It's supposed to not be in their.
Yeah, the code gate is supposed to be their
what
thing.
It's weird. They have to pay credits to break their code gates, right?
Jeez.
It's just strange. Anyway,
the only thing that makes this to me the primary thing that makes this card the worst or really bad, excuse me, not the worst, is that you pay 2 credits to break the sub, right? That's pretty harsh. 2 credits to break a sub is pretty harsh, which means that you have to in order to even the cost out that you're going to pay for every piece of ice you break with it, you got to have a card like E3.
Yeah, it's 5 to install.
Yeah.
And it takes up 2 MU.
Yeah.
God.
It's pretty harsh. And then +1 strength for each unused. So at least it's better than Sage by starting at 2. But that issue is okay, so let's say we're optimistic, with a deck we're going to build with this card. Sure. We have a 5-cost 2 MU breaker that gets better based on every unused MU we have. So it's a Sentry Barrier. In faction, we have the best code gates. So we're going to have Gordian Blade, which is a fairly efficient breaker, right? It's very efficient. And so even then, though, we're using up 3 of our base of 4 MU. We have to have additional MU. This card needs 3 additional MU available to be at 5 strength. And hopefully the corp doesn't have any Sentry above 5 strength, because rip completely. We would just lose the game. Because it'll trash something and we can't catch back up. So when we were talking about deep data mining, right? The entire deck has to be built sort of around this being used. And I know that it seems like it's really easy to say, okay, so we can use Sage and we can use Adept, but that seems entirely wrong because they overlap. So you don't want us to use both of them. And in fact, Adept seems better than Sage in every way possible. Right? They both cost 5, if I'm not mistaken. No, Sage costs 4. Excuse me. Sage costs 4, but still, like an extra 1 cost to break Sentry Barrier when Code Gate is the most efficient breaker that Shaper has seems the clearly better choice most of the time. So
what you're trying to say is below average.
Below average, yeah, definitely a below average.
Yeah,
we can just cut that short. Below average.
Yeah, Jameson, what you got? Good? You putting this in good?
You know what the problem that I have with this is that I really feel like the 2 memory.
Yeah. I really just want to know what he's doing in this picture. Like, is he trying to solve a puzzle? I guess this is like a person trying to use this card. Like, he's got it out, and he's trying to figure, he's like, I think I got it. And there's, like, the other hand's like, bro, just smash it. Just give it up. And, like, so the hammer's just, like, there to say, just do something better.
Why did it take so long for these to come out after, like, after Sage? Like, Sage came out in, like, what?
I feel like they probably forgot about it.
Second cycle?
Yeah,
and I thought Sage at the time was cool and unique, and when there wasn't different options, you could build stuff, and it was good. But I feel like they're trying to do something that doesn't fit well together as a suite, right? Like, if you're going to use 1, don't you want to at least use 2 because you're building something that's comboing off unused MU?
Yeah.
But then when you're using 2, now they're two memory each. Like,
yeah,
come
which
on,
also means you need to play with stuff to host it on so it doesn't take up MU.
Yeah,
so that's more pieces of the puzzle you have to get to, and then that creates an order you have to have them to play in to get the most benefit. Yeah.
Jonathan,
so as the artwork says, to smash it with a hammer.
Jonathan makes a good point. Of course, he also was available tonight for the Arkham cast. He makes a good point. Like, dedicated processor is probably a good addition to a card like this, and I'm inclined to agree. But still, that 2 credits to break 1 sub is so expensive.
Is that value off the centuries?
Yeah,
I mean, you hit a Camino. That's bad. It's bad times.
Yeah. If you have 4 cards in hand, even like you pay 8 credits to break a Koma Inu. Whereas if you just had Yogg, you would break it for free.
Well, you wouldn't break that with Yogg. You'd be cheating.
Oh, sorry. Oh my God. Yeah. Sorry, like a mimic. Sorry, you break it as a one.
Jeez, some ice you do have to pay to break, Hollis.
Yeah.
we can't quite Yogg everything.
You can if you use Baba Yaga and Fairy.
Side tangent. Stop trying to reinvent Sage. Let Sage do what Sage does. If you want to look at something, like give me Morningstar 2.0.
Oh my God!
There you go. I'll take that.
Right.
Just
so
smash it.
And
so that's it. The other part of this artwork, you'd just rather have a hammer.
I'd rather have the hammer.
Smash things. So what you're saying is excellent.
I don't know. Part of me doesn't think it's in the red.
Yeah,
I don't think. I think it's a below average, bottom of the below averages.
I think that's pretty what we all. So cool. I'm good with that. We ready to keep rolling?
Yeah. Just don't give me another one of these things, though.
Savant. It's definitely not one of those things. Program, Icebreaker, Killer, Decoder, Install 4, Mem 2, Strength 1, Influence 3. Has +1 Strength for each unused MU. 2 credits, break 1 Sentry, or 2 Code Gate subroutines.
Huh. Which one would you rather have out of all these 3?
I think Adept.
I agree. If you're going to play it in Shaper, Adept makes the most sense.
It has the highest strength out of the 3, and it includes the subroutine. It breaks the ice that you don't have the most efficient breaker for.
Mm-hmm.
And like, if you look at Savant, like Sentries and Code Gates, So a lot of sentries that are getting rezzed against you, they're trying to hit you at like strength 5 to try to get them to fire, and sometimes 6. And then code gates, the most impactful code gates are strength 4 and 5. Yeah. Which means that this guy, just to even be able to touch those, you need to have 4 extra MU, which means he's not even doing that installed. You have to have some sort of memory enhancement to even be able to get it to the min strength for the impactful ice that you're trying to be able to break.
Yeah.
So,
it has the audacity. It has, like, this card makes me mad because it has the audacity to actually say you can spend 2 credits to break 1 sentry subroutine or 2 code gate subroutines, and immediately what makes this card even possible to be playable is if it straight up said 2 credits break 2 subroutines. Sentry or code gate.
What is going on in the artwork on this card?
What's with you and artwork tonight?
He is Goro from
Mortal Kombat?
From Mortal Kombat. And he's about to do a combo. That's what's happening.
Gotcha.
He ain't doing a combo with 2 MU used up.
Very, very interesting decision on where like the glowing effects are placed in this artwork. So, sorry.
So you were saying that so obviously if we just said this one's worse, so what is this, bad?
I think so.
I would go bad.
How far down the bad scale? Bottom?
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, it's only going to compete with Brute Force Hack. Yeah. I think Brute Force Hack is a better card.
Okay.
There you go.
Oh,
so there we go. We did it. It made it all the way to the bottom. Okay, we ready?
Yeah.
Let's keep on moving.
Give me another.
Egret. Program install 2, Mim 1, Influence 2. Install Egret only on a res piece of ice. Host ice gain Sentry, Code Gate, and Barrier.
Huh.
Cool. It's a cute card for Kit. If you want another option to kind of always turn stuff on code gates, that's a way to look at it. It's also a good way, I guess, if you can't find the breaker, you can just make it where anything can break it. And you can always use the most efficient option.
Yeah, tinker it, right?
There you go. It's an interesting card. I don't think it's amazing. I don't think it's bad. I think it's a very specific type of deck you probably want to play it with, and I feel like maybe Kit's probably the best person who would use it.
Yeah, I feel the same way, especially since it's going to use an MU. But I don't know. Yeah. I think it's going to be pretty powerful.
You think so?
Yeah.
Well, okay, so the problem is just like I think you're going to want to put it on something beefy that you don't want to.
So they have to.
You don't want to put it on something shit and garbage that the corp can decide to actually be like, I don't really need this piece of ice there, so I'm going to install over top of it and just trash this.
Mm-hmm.
Right, but I mean, if you got to get in, you got to get in. But that being said, that if you put it on something else, and that's going to be a little more sticky, and at least you're paying through it, they might leave it there longer.
Yeah.
Right? Put this on, Morningstar something, and you're good to go.
Go Morningstar. It's an interesting card. I think there's decks that could see play with it and have some neat tricks they can pull with it. It's got pretty neat artwork.
Yeah. The artwork is very cool. That's the
and that's what Hollis has to say about this card.
I don't feel like it's weird. Like I'm not confident outside of Kit it has a huge use. Like host size against Sentry, Code Gate, and Barrier. But like the issue I face there is like, okay, so Parasite, what kind of like adds to like its benefit and what makes it good is the fact that it sort of terminates. So it had. Yeah, but like it's like you attach to a piece of ice.
Hey, you could be playing some dickhead that's only got Mystic. Like, right, Corey?
Yeah, some guy.
Somebody.
But like it's to me, what's cool about it is that like if you run, if you run Kit, it's obviously going to be beneficial. The comparison like to a card that you would host on a piece of ice like Parasite is that it's sort of Parasite over time can self-terminate, which means that you're getting the benefit from Parasite, but eventually Parasite goes away and you can get it back or you play another one, and you're removing a piece of ice out of the game. The breaker you would have would need to be efficient so that when you attach Egret to that ice, it justifies them trashing the ice that's installed.
Yeah, man, wouldn't it be cool if there was like a breaker that just broke as many subroutines as you wanted for next to no cost. Actually, no cost.
No cost. Yeah. I mean, but I mean that directly depends on like the setup, right? Like Egret is amazing if like you have Yalgasaurus and you're like 5 cost Kogate. What is that? Is it Eli? I don't care about that card. What do you do? What do you
playing
do?
You got Gordian Blade.
What do you do?
Yeah, man. Gordian Blade's way more destructive than you can pump Gordian Blade.
According to people on the internet, Gordian Blade is the most negative play experience card. There's no denying that. The card, I can see it. I'm not being ridiculous about it. I can see it. But I guess my concern with Egret is like I'm not sure like where in the meta like this sits as far as how it can impact it. Like this is very difficult. I feel like my initial gut tells me it's not impactful, but I don't know. Like I feel like a card like this possibly can see abuse, and it's amazing.
Yeah, as Jason mentioned, it is a cute thing to throw in like a Mother Goddess, or when they're trying to be like, oh, it doesn't have a type, and you're like, just kidding, it's got all the types.
Right.
Anything can get in there. It's cool. I think it's only going to be played in like really specific decks.
Yeah.
And so I feel like this is one of those that's got like a wait and see as whether someone can get it to really turn on in those specific decks.
I
or
think
whether it's just another clunky piece.
I think it's average though.
I could go average on it.
Or were you thinking higher?
No, I wasn't thinking higher than that.
Would it be higher if the Egret was spelled like a Game of Thrones Egret with a Y?
And then, you know nothing.
Yeah, and then that was the flavor text. It's like host ice gains Century Code Gate and Barrier. You know nothing.
Yeah. Yeah, that might make it above average.
Hollis?
Just for style points.
I'll give it average.
Yeah, under careful planning.
I don't know. I'm gonna put it above it. I'm gonna be optimistic. Yeah,
I can do that. I'll juggle
that. What about
that.
this Lustig?
It's not. No.
All right.
It's like no, cut that off. It's not.
Yeah.
Definitely not.
All right, guys.
All right, you ready?
Yeah.
You ready? We're moving right along. We're almost there. And then I get this thing. Jeez. They just draw these letters out of a hat. Degder? Jake, I don't know. I'm just no idea.
I think the D will be silent.
Sure. So Hegder?
Yeah, sure.
I don't know. Hegdeer. It's apparently. Hold on. In the unofficial, in the information, it is apparently a. 1 second. I saw this in here when I was reading it about like what it is like in the lore. Oh, it's a female cannibalistic demon from Somali mythology.
What?
American
if you're
God.
curious. Anyway, so what does this card do? Oh, glad you asked.
Mm-hmm.
So it's 2 cost, memory 0, influence 2. It can host a single program, and it lowers the install cost of programs you install by 1. And the memory cost of this hosted program does not count against your memory limit.
Boom, Morningstar it.
Can it be Morningstarred? Yes. So it's you pay 2 credits, but you get a program hosting card that doesn't take up MU. So it's not taking up MU, and then the program it hosts isn't taking up MU, and that program is a credit cheaper.
That's pretty good if you get into that convoluted, I want to host something on something else kind of thing.
Correct.
What if you don't want to do it then?
but it's only hosting one thing.
Right.
So you're not like loading a bunch of things on it, but doesn't seem bad. If you ever wanted to install a hyperdriver and Endless Hunger at the same time, you can do it with this card.
Hey, below average.
Yeah.
I don't think these cards are terrible, especially something that's already not giving you MU and letting and canceling out memory limits. It's going to let you deck build and experiment with things. So it's definitely not bad or terrible.
Yeah, I think below average is right. Again, I feel like it's going to be like a niche deck. That's probably going to want to play it.
I do, but looking at the card in itself, I think that there's
it's pretty crazy artwork.
There's value there, but not a lot.
Hollis, what's your opinion? You've been kind of quiet on this card.
Oh no, if I was using an icebreaker, would I use this card above Omnidrive?
What's with you and Omnidrive tonight?
Well, it comes up. So if I was going to use Omnidrive, would I use this card above? Well, if I had a choice between this and Omnidrive, which would I choose?
Why are you using Omnidrive?
Because it gives me a credit to actually use that breaker every turn.
Hello.
Right? Like if I'm talking just breaker, if I'm talking just breaker, I get if it's an icebreaker, I get to have a free credit on their breaker every turn. This reduces the install cost by 1, which is way less of an economic benefit comparatively throughout the game. And then the memory cost doesn't count towards my memory limit. I'm pretty sure Omnidrive gets that benefit. The only difference is that it's hardware, and it costs 1 more.
And it can't host anything above 2.
It can't?
2.
Omnidrive can't?
Omnidrive is you can host a single program of 1 memory or less.
Okay, so
there you go. Your question answered.
So I can't host Morningstar or Savant or Adept.
Hollis, if you actually played with Omnidrive, you'd probably know that.
Right? Yeah.
Wouldn't you?
So right away, you ask yourself, can this host Morningstar? No. Omnidrive, garbage.
So I guess my biggest God, Corey got me. I guess the biggest issue is pretty much are any of these programs ever going to be it's always are these programs better ever in the scenarios where I get to use them? Are they better than just straight up an MU bonus? And I'm not even sure.
Yeah.
If I was going to run this or available Akamatsu's Dyson Mem chips or Cybersoft memory chip.
So you're saying give yourself memory instead of trying to save memory?
Well, yeah, I think so actually, yeah. I think because those cards can be played standalone that don't require this to be out first for me to get the benefit from the breaker. The breaker can come out and maybe can be added later.
The only thing I can see that gives this a little more flexibility is that it's a program instead of a hardware, and Shaper doesn't really have an issue looking for programs.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I've never really seen anybody throw something down and then start. Okay, so I've never seen anything crazy competitive of somebody that throws something down and then drop some other stuff on it to save MU and do this stuff and.
That wasn't a leprechaun.
Yeah. Right, not even that. There's stuff before trying to save MU. You look at these Omni drives and things like that, right? There's things out there, but they're just.
Who's playing with Omni drives?
Just saying.
Who is this person?
Why do we keep going back to Omni drive?
So far, I've learned that Hollis's litmus test has been Omni drive and borrowed satellite.
Omni drive has never been referenced so much, even in the episode that Omni drive was reviewed.
No, you're right though. Yeah. Yeah, we were all right, pass, next, move on.
All right. Okay.
Hollis, what are you thinking then? Are you saying it's garbage, or are you just saying bottom of the below average?
I think it's bad.
So.
We went to bad.
I think it's bad.
Well, Corey and I said below average, so we'll give you the bottom of the below average, where you should have just taken it and been on a winning team.
All right, we're on looks to be the next to last card for Shaper. Levy Advanced Research Lab. It's a resource. It's a location. It's ritzy. Whenever that'll matter.
Ritzy.
Install 4 and influence 2.
I hope there's more Ritzies in the future.
Click. Reveal the top 4 cards of your stack. If any of those cards are programs, you may add 1 to your grip. Add the rest of the cards to the bottom of your stack in any order.
Holy shit.
So... Yep. Hey, Hollis, looks like you got your hand raised.
Nope.
Listening.
Nope.
No?
Nope. Nope.
Isn't this kind of like very similar to when we did the secretary card, like in the data pack?
Yep.
Isn't this like the resource version of the secretary?
Yep.
Yeah.
Nope.
And I feel like our review for the secretary stays exactly the same, even if you make it a resource.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, it's in, like, if this was possibly in any other faction, I would maybe entertain it, right? If it was in Shaper, or sorry, God, excuse me, if it was Anarch,
sold.
Wish granted.
if it was an Anarch or Crim, I would be like, okay, like, sure, maybe they might kind of sort of need more ways to go get, but this isn't even, it is in the faction that has self-modifying code and clone chip available at their disposal
And
to go
test
get
run.
and test run to go get
Technically.
any
And, I mean,
program they
and
need.
code siphon, am I right?
Am I right?
But like they can go get any program they need. Like it's not limited. Like if you have SMC and you want to get interdiction, go get it. You need it, go get it.
Hey, some stuff.
Wait a minute, you have SMC and you're getting what?
Hey,
What do you get with that SMC?
These people at Levy.
Is it interdiction?
Sometimes they
No.
do good work. Sometimes they do shit work. This is one of the
Yeah.
times
No,
that
not
they're doing
interdiction.
shit work, man.
Equivocation?
Yeah, equivocation.
Sorry, equivocation.
I was just like, what? What are you doing? What kind of SMCs you running?
Interdiction is the current. Sorry.
Correct. But yeah, Jameson, you're right. Every now and then, it's just like these come out and you're just like, nah, man.
Yeah, like innovation, iteration, education.
The advanced research labs can just stick with Levy University.
Yeah.
All we want is Levy lab access.
This
Just
card
give
should
us
be-
access to the lab when we need it.
Yeah.
Where's this going, guys? Let's not dwell on this.
Bad.
Okay.
Terrible.
You get terrible?
I'm gonna give it a terrible.
Uh,
Within Shaper, I give it terrible. In this faction,
Corey, I
in
was gonna say bad, but you look like you're gonna change your mind any second now.
Well, I don't think it's worse than Charlatan. And I don't think it's worse than Sin Attack. And I honestly don't think it's worse than Savant. And so if we rated Savant bad, I have to keep this in bad.
So you think it's above Savant?
Yes. I don't think it's far off from being where Hollis wants it, though.
Terrible.
Yeah.
Let's get
All
Justin
right.
Bieber in here to sing it. I don't know.
Yeah. All right, we're on the last card. You ready?
Yeah, man.
Here we go. Laguna Velasco District.
Sounds
It's
ritzy.
It is ritzy. It's install 5, influence 2. Whenever you spend a click to draw one card, not through a card ability, draw one additional card.
I'm intrigued.
So it's not limit once per turn.
No, but I'm maybe not satisfied, but I'm intrigued.
It's yeah. So it's like yeah. So I've only played against one deck playing this, and it was that Haley deep data mining chameleon thing where they just that's the only deck I've ever seen play this card.
Is it above average?
But above average.
Yeah.
I mean, so it doesn't trigger off the card abilities, right? So you're spending clicks to draw the cards, but granted you're getting more efficiency, but you're spending 5 credits to install this.
Is that a mandatory?
Yes, it is a mandatory. It is not you may draw. It is draw one additional
So if
card.
you just needed one card, you're pretty much SOL.
Correct. You're getting 2 whether you like it or not.
Mm.
And sometimes I mean, me personally, like I've been playing Smoke recently. I hate it when I have to click to draw a card. I'm always trying just to get all my cards through like Diesels, Deuces, just any effect that's triggering to give me cards, as opposed to clicking. But when you have to click, this does speed you up really fast to get through the deck and get to those cards quick, you know.
Mm.
I mean, if you think about if you had like 1 card in hand, right? 2 clicks fills your hand back up. If you spent a turn just digging, you can get through 8 cards in 1 turn. I'm not doing hard math here, folks. I'm just I'm just letting you visualize it to kind of maybe like think about something. Just like, oh yeah, it does seem like you're looking through a lot of cards, and you're not triggering any other card ability. You just have to have this 1 card in play, and you have that ability that's always on. I mean, that's not a bad ability. I don't think anyone would be upset.
I think this is above average because it's just because you have a hand limit. I mean, if you're thinking if it's the magnum opus, you know, click draw
of
2,
card draw,
yeah, then I mean opus is good, but that's because you can have unlimited, you know, money pool.
Yeah.
Right. So I mean,
another thing too, it's only 2 influence, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you can splash it.
I mean,
So if you had like Krim,
I'm in the positives. Just trying to think where it would land.
Like if Krim career faired this out, you got it for 2 credits, and then Krim's just like clicking and burning through cards. I mean, it's not an Earthrise, it's an automatic 2, but I don't think a lot of Krims would be upset to be able to fill their hand back up with really good events and stuff like that with, you know, half the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I'm with you on the above average. I don't think it's a bad card. I mean, if you can think of it like the opus for card draw, it's an interesting way to. I mean, that's not a bad way to look at it, I guess.
I might have to even say I gotta probably put it at the top of the above average.
Yeah, I think it's one of those. It's going to be a little weird. Like it's going to take, you know.
Hollis, you got it.
It's a thing.
Are you kind of on board with all that?
Hollis.
Or are you preoccupied?
Hates
right
Velasco's.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's hard. So like
out here,
Proco's. It's hard. It's hard in these Laguna Velasco streets, man. Everything is straight bougie over here. Like
it is one of the wealthiest, most powerful areas of New Angeles.
I haven't heard that word in a while. Thanks.
It's straight bougie.
Thanks for.
But like okay, so the difficulty is if you look at like Proco, right? Proco is like card to credit when you spend a click, and effectively this card is, like you said, it's the magnum opus of card draw. Mm-hmm. It relates to professional contacts, in that you don't get the credit, you're instead exchanging it for a card. Often, a card can be worth more than a single credit. So if I was looking at straight value, yeah, this card's probably, compared to Proco, most of the time probably better.
I'd rather have this.
But then I ask myself, when was the last time I saw Proco? And that makes the judgment very difficult.
Well, as I think one, you don't really need that much anymore because Proco was played in a lot of stealth type rigs.
Yeah.
I think it started to get really popular, and then you had Smoke, which allows you to run a leaner deck size. And there's also been more card draw effects. But the only reason I think the big reason Proco was popular is you're getting the credit. I think it was just to give you anything else other than just clicking for cards. So Proco was like you were getting a compensation credit for having to spend your turn.
Mm-hmm.
So, but this is I guess this is one of those. What's more important to you? Like, do you want to gain a little bit of economy while not speeding through your deck any faster, but at least you're getting some econ, or do you just want a way to kind of burn through your cards at a more rapid pace to try to get to those pieces and those tools you need? And I think that's something you just have to value when you're building your deck and what you want. And I think either can be a decent option.
If I had to rate the card,
yeah,
man, I think I have to put it in above average.
Yes,
question mark.
Good choice.
There you go.
Good
And
choice.
I agree.
I
agree
agree
with the
as
question
well.
mark.
Oh, there you go, guys.
Above average with a question mark.
Okay, we'll asterisk that
Yeah.
by bonds for you.
Yeah, that one's a flex one.
So there you have it. Make sure you can go check out this form is printed out there. We got the neutrals to look at on both sides, guys. We're not done with TD yet.
Oh my god! But yeah, we're almost there. We're almost there.
We're still in TD.
But you know what? It's great because some people who burn their reviews out super fast, they haven't got to see some of these crazy decks that players have made with these cards.
Yes.
We get to experience and see what's coming out of regionals, and then take that into our evaluation.
Yes, these reviews have dragged on longer than the actual playing of TD.
But it's been a good time.
Yeah, no, I'm just kidding around. I think that
I think that's it. Right.
we are concluded. So you got the whole meat and potatoes. So just come back for a little dessert when we recap the neutrals.
Ooh.
Get that pie. Corey, you have anything to add here?
I don't actually. I'm sorry for that.
No problems. Jameson, are you good? Yep. I am good. Thank you. Hollis, I saved you for last just in case you want to. Anything come up this week that you need to get off your chest?
I always feel like this is a trap. Like I'm expected.
No, I mean, you're good. Hey, man, if you're having a great week, you're having a great week.
Was there anything?
Hey, congrats to Hollis for getting into the Friday L5R event. He only had to kill 3 people.
Let's use my platform right now and say that so that it looks like all 3 of us will be at Gen Con.
Yes.
Yep.
Unless something crazy happens. It looks like I'm pretty much shut out of playing Arkham, so if anybody has that scenario after and does not want it, look for me. I'll throw cash your way for it. So
maybe this isn't maybe this isn't necessarily the right time, but I'll put it out in the air. I made a post on Twitter maybe a few days ago. 2 days ago, where I said basically I'm finding it very difficult to play Netrunner at the current moment.
Ooh,
and it's not
I
because
this is where you're going to tell us you're going solo. You're bigger
Yeah.
than
No,
you're bigger
what?
than the shit.
I'm not Zayn or Justin Timberlake. Guys, calm down. But like no, I'm finding it consistently harder to play Netrunner, and it's because of a combination of things. People have asked me if it's because of the current meta, if they've asked me if it's because of my interest in the game, and the truth is that like it's all those things combined. It's not just one single thing. Like the truth is that like I'm finding it hard to play the game because out of all of the factors that have contributed to it, what it comes down to is I am effectively having less fun in the game than I did when I started. And I think the biggest contributor to that has been the fact that like I played the game a lot with my local community that was here in Huntsville, and now a lot of those players aren't playing anymore. They moved on to other board games, other card games, so on and so forth. And so that means that my interest in the game and like the reason why I was so involved in it has definitely waned. I'm still gonna work on content for Netrunner. I'm still gonna try my hardest to be a member of the community and contribute where I can. But the new hotness, the new interest that is sparking a lot of getting a lot of attention in my local meta and in general for the LCG community is about L5R. And while I'm not abandoning Netrunner per se, I am going to be spending a lot of time focusing on looking at the new content that is coming with L5R and the game itself, the cards, and like the competitive aspect of that. So I was able to get into the Thursday event and Friday event for L5R, which pretty much means that this year at Gen Con, I will not, barring some amazing change, I will not be a part of anything Netrunner at Gen Con this year. And, since 2013, this will be the first time that I haven't been involved pretty much in anything in Netrunner. And it's sort of a sad thing, but I'm hoping that rotation, other changes, renews my interest in Netrunner, allows me to invest very heavily in L5R. And, I don't think we've actually mentioned anything publicly, but I know that, Jameson and Corey, we're all very interested in seeing what we can provide as far as content for not only Netrunner, but L5R in the future. And I hope you guys will continue to watch and enjoy and be members of both of those communities, especially if you can afford it, if you're interested in both of them, join in on those discussions. So expect more content from us coming up very soon for L5R.
And like and subscribe.
Yeah.
because stuff is coming.
Yeah.
We're on the verge. There's a storm brewing.
Yeah.
And you want to know when it's coming.
You want to know. You do.
Yeah. Not like Hollis. Hollis won't tell you when it's coming.
Nah.
But
Surprise!
YouTube will. Surprise!
We're here! Surprise!
Anyway, guys, like and subscribe and share and talk to us on all the socials. And we will catch you next time. Who knows when? Could be a Thursday. Could be a Sunday. Never a Wednesday.
Man. We're just lurking. We're just waiting.
Yeah, we're all over. All the more reason to like and subscribe.
Like and
subscribe.
Like and subscribe.
Thank you, everybody, for joining in with us here in the chats. Thumbs up. Rock and roll. That sucked, that outro. Why did I say rock and roll? God damn it. Goodbye. We're out.